Behind every set of watchful eyes lies a question older than time: predator or prey? They are not cruel. They are simply hungry, and hunger answers to no one. The hunted live their whole lives one mistake away from the end. Mist sometimes settles close to the ground, softening the distance and blurring familiar shapes. Lie stirs across the waking land, quiet and unstoppable. Dawn arrives quietly across the African savannah, softening the land before the heat of day begins. Before the sun appears, the sky changes colour and the darkness begins to retreat. The first light spreads slowly along the horizon, revealing the vast shape of the plains. The first rays of sunlight reveal details that were hidden only moments before. Morning light reaches the grasslands in gentle layers rather than all at once. And so the world wakes and moves and begins the long day once more. Long shadows stretch across the ground as the sun begins to climb. A pale glow rises behind distant trees, marking the beginning of another day. Motion returns to the stillness, and the day begins its slow unfolding. At sunrise, the savannah seems to pause between night and day. The living rise to meet the morning, as they have since the first dawn. The cool air of dawn creates one of the calmest moments on the savannah. Each blade of grass catches the early light and briefly shines against the darker earth. The horizon glows with warm colour, while the plains remain wrapped in cool blue shade. at dawn. The horizon slowly returns and the landscape becomes visible again. The savannah is built from contrasts that exist side by side. Across the savannah, distance becomes part of the landscape, stretching every view into a sense of openness. Each part of the landscape responds differently to the same weather. The plains seem quiet, yet countless natural processes continue beneath the surface. Here, the horizon is not merely a boundary, but a constant presence guiding the eye across the land. The savannah is a place where space itself influences how life moves and survives. The land feels exposed, yet it remains full of hidden structure and quiet complexity. Soft grass may border hard soil, while green patches emerge beside dry earth. These small variations can affect moisture, vegetation, and the movement of life. No single view can fully reveal the complexity of the grassland. The grassland changes character with every shift in cloud, wind, and sunlight. From ground level, the plains are far less uniform than they appear from a distance. Wide spaces allow the smallest movement to stand out against the earth. The landscape appears simple, but its patterns are shaped by centuries of climate and life. Some areas are dense with growth, while others remain sparse and sun-baked. This diversity gives the plains their remarkable resilience. Low ridges and shallow depressions create subtle changes across the open ground. Between the distant trees, the grassland forms broad corridors across the continent. Another cycle begins across the endless African grasslands. Every open field carries the memory of seasons that came before. They fold their legs beneath them and settle to rest, jaws still working the grass. At ease, they lie in loose clusters, chewing slowly, watching the world go by. They rest with eyes half closed, never quite asleep, never quite awake. A young one chases its own shadow, then tires and returns to its mother's side. A mother nudges her stumbling young onward, gentle and insistent. The little one mimics the grown ones, lowering its head to grass it cannot yet eat. The mother places herself always between her young and whatever the world may bring. The young are born knowing nothing and must learn everything, and fast. The young are the herd's hope, guarded and cherished by them all. A calf leans against its mother, drinking in her warmth and her calm. The mother answers her young soft call, and the little one hurries to her side. A mother grooms her young with slow and patient care. The young grow strong on their mother's milk and the plain's endless grass. A newborn wobbles between the legs of the herd, sheltered on every side. A calf finds its place in the herd and never strays far from it again. The newborn is fragile and precious, and the whole herd feels it so. A little one lifts its head at every new sound, learning what to fear. The little ones learn the herd's ways early, for their lives depend on it. The young are never left alone, for alone on the plain is where danger waits. The little one learns to graze by copying the heads bowed all around it. The young ones rest in a loose and drowsy heap, watched over by the herd. In the group there is strength and safety, and a loyalty that endures. They face the world together, and the world respects them all the more. Where they gather, their trust in one another is their greatest weapon. A group of hunters moves as one, bound by ties beyond words. They are blamed for being what the world made them. They are misunderstood as villains, but they did not write the laws they live by. They are cast as the villains of the wild, though they are only its keepers. Judge them if you must, but they answer to a law older than judgment. A hunter alone is self-reliant, answering to nothing but itself. They are the most feared and the least understood of all who live here. They deserve not our fear alone, but our understanding. We see cruelty. The plain sees only balance. To understand the hunters is to set aside our easy judgments. United, the hunters are more than the sum of their number. The bonds between them are older and stronger than any single hunt. They share the labor, the spoils, and the raising of their young. Some of them are bound in groups, and their loyalty runs deep. Together, the hunters achieve what no single one of them could. We are quick to judge them, and slow to understand them. What we call savagery the plain calls necessity. The bond that holds them is a kind of strength no muscle could match. The daily routines of these animals are shaped by needs that remain invisible to the human eye. A wrong decision can lead the herd away from water or into dangerous territory. The scent of damp soil may suggest water beyond the horizon. Adaptability allows these giants to endure conditions that would overwhelm many other creatures. Yet remaining still can be equally risky. Survival often requires choosing between several uncertain paths. A simple movement may have many possible meanings. Their world is understood through scent, sound, memory, and instinct. A newborn must enter a world already filled with danger. Weather, food, predators, and social relationships are always changing. Their strength is revealed not only in conflict, but in persistence. What appears to be wandering may actually be a carefully directed search. Generation after generation, the same ancient struggle is repeated. What looks like stillness may be intense observation. Birth brings new life to the plains, but also new vulnerability. They notice changes that would pass unnoticed by most people. Knowledge is gathered continuously and used without hesitation. There is little room for error when resources are scarce. They continue feeding after long journeys and continue walking after difficult seasons. A distant call may reveal the location of danger. Fresh tracks may show that another herd has recently passed through. No day follows precisely the same pattern. This uncertainty is one of the defining realities of life in the wild. The animals move forward without knowing exactly what awaits them. Every clue helps build a picture of the surrounding landscape. The cycle of arrival, caution, drinking and departure repeats throughout the day. The surface hides much of what is happening below. By midday, the heat increases the value of every shaded or damp place. Water continues to attract life long after the landscape disappears into darkness. After darkness falls, the same location enters a different and less visible phase. Wind, insects, birds, and passing animals all leave temporary patterns on the surface. It can also make movement slow, difficult, and uncertain. Others must wait, move aside, or find another route to the water. The shoreline becomes a place where social order is clearly displayed. Rising water can cover familiar paths and force animals to adapt. Those that approach too quickly may disturb the entire gathering. A single alarm can send waves of movement across the water's edge. Once the danger passes, calm may return almost as quickly. Morning often brings cooler conditions and steady activity near the water. The safest place to drink may change as the shoreline shifts. In the evening, the water reflects the changing colours of the sky. Falling water levels expose new ground but may create steeper approaches. At night, sound and scent become more important than sight. Reflections may suggest calm, even when the surroundings remain alert. These small changes make the water appear constantly alive. Mud around the shoreline is both an obstacle and a record of recent activity. Soft ground can preserve tracks long after the animals have gone. Stillness above the water does not always mean stillness beneath it. Ripples can reveal movement that remains otherwise unseen. Patience can be just as important as strength. Even when the land appears dry, life continues quietly within trunks, roots, and dormant buds. On the savannah, survival often depends on reaching water hidden far beneath the surface. Wind bends branches, strips leaves, and carries seeds across the open country. Fresh growth begins quietly, sometimes before the storm clouds have fully disappeared. Darkening skies can signal the arrival of rain after weeks or months of dryness. Water runs along branches, gathers at roots, and seeps slowly into the ground. Some trees grow slowly, investing their strength in deep roots and resilient wood. Within a short time, dust becomes mud, and leaves begin to shine with moisture. The vegetation here survives by adapting to heat, wind, drought, and sudden rain. Rain arrives with the power to change everything around it. Lightning briefly illuminates the landscape and reveals the full scale of the sky. A single storm may provide the moisture needed to awaken an entire landscape. The movement of the canopy reveals changes in the weather before they are fully visible. After rain, the savannah often appears brighter, cooler, and newly alive. A gentle breeze cools the air and sets the grass and leaves in constant motion. Clouds gather above the horizon, slowly transforming the light across the land. The first drops darken the soil and release the scent of the dry earth. Before a storm, the air often becomes heavy, still, and expectant. Thunder can travel across the open plains with remarkable force. Strong gusts can change the mood of the plains within moments. The trees of the savannah are shaped as much by weather as by time. Deep deep roots allow many plants to endure long periods without rain. A bird holds its hover, then folds its wings and plunges to the earth. The disputes of the birds are brief and fierce, and quickly done. They float upon the wind, wings working, still as a fixed point in the sky. They ride the wind in place, patient and precise, watching for their chance. They gather in great colonies, thousands of lives crowded close together. They master even the wind, hanging motionless in its ceaseless flow. The colony is a place of endless noise and ceaseless motion. They defend their patch of sky with cries and displays and headlong charges. Two rivals wheel and clash, disputing the ownership of the air. A rival appears, and the air erupts in cries and beating wings. The gathering is a riot of sound and colour and constant movement. Two birds tangle in the air, then break apart, the matter settled. They tolerate no rivals near their nests and say so loudly, they nest side by side in vast numbers, finding safety in the crowd. They defend their nests with a courage far beyond their size. They mark their territory with song and defend it with fury. They chase their rivals from their territory in a flurry of wings. A bird calls out its claim, warning all others to keep their distance. They crowd together to breed, the whole plain loud with their calling. They squabble and chase, settling the endless disputes of the plain. They guard their ground fiercely, driving off all who trespass. There is a gentle sorrow and a gentle joy in every ending like this. This is an ending repeated faithfully, day after day, since the beginning. The day gives way, and the coming dark waits gently at the edge. The light retreats, and the world waits quietly for the dark to come. Every fading of the light carries the promise of its return. This is the gentle handover from the light to the coming dark. This ending comes as it always has, faithful and unhurried. The light thins toward the dark, glowing to the very last. The day lets go, certain it will come again. The world stands at the edge of night, wrapped in fading gold. The heart slows to match the fading of the light. In the fading light, the whole world seems to grow more precious. To witness this is to be reminded how beautiful an ending can be. This is the threshold hour, poised between the day and the dark. The light fades, but it is a farewell, not a goodbye. This is the pause between the day and the night, held in gold. This is the last of the light, and the plain savours it. There is a quiet magic in the way the light gives way. We are drawn to this hour, though we cannot always say why. The wild asks only to be left as it is vast and free and whole. In the end, all that we can offer this ancient land is our wonder. Life flows on through this land like a river with no distant sea. The horizon calls the story onward, past every place the eye can reach. The wild endures in a language older than any we could hope to speak. The land will still be here when all our questions have been forgotten. What lives here is bound to something deeper than any single life. The land carries its stories quietly and shares them only with the patient. We came as strangers, and we leave as witnesses to something timeless. Every creature here is a passing note in a song without an end. The land will forget our names, but it will never forget how to live. Life gives way, gently and without protest, to the life that follows. The wild goes on, quietly certain, through every turning of the world. What we have seen will fade from memory, but the land will hold it still.